Our spring break trip to Uganda had been building up since the beginning of last September. After countless class hours spent on preparing us for an international immersion, we finally got into the flights and took the 14-plus hour journey to Entebbe. For me, it still felt surreal upon landing. The unexpected paparazzi and greeters at the airport were the first signs that we were going to be the outsiders during the trip. Our first night and morning in Kampala were still somewhat the inauthentic African experience. We were still hanging out with each other, a big group of Maryland students. We soon found out that our first night's plushy hotel rooms were similar to that of the American standard. Of course, before living up the traditional rural lifestyle with host families, we had a touristy photo op at the Ugandan equator during our 3-hour journey to Masaka. Masaka offered something totally different from the hustle and bustle of the capital city Kampala. Not until after arriving in our homestays and going to the community to work with the community members did I really start to see what was going on in this developing country. The community of Chanamukaka was so excited for us to arrive that they had already prepared a song and dance for us during our first visit. How were we going to make a difference in the lives of people who were already so thankful for us coming? Were we going to make a lasting impression on them besides being a bunch of Muzungu outsiders who couldn't dig a hole or hammer a nail properly? How could we sustain friendships and development projects in such a different culture, or with such conflicting working styles? What exactly does the word sustainability even mean? Sustainability is the capacity to endure or the capacity of being continued with minimal long-term effect on the environment. How in the world does sustainability relate to a service trip to Uganda? Was it simply the food that sustained our body? No, sustainability can be seen in 3 different major ways during my experience in Uganda. First, I saw sustainable development, which is development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of the future generations to meet their own needs. The 3 projects we worked on with REAP exemplified sustainable development. Our water harvesting tanks allowed women and children to not be endangered when retrieving water from faraway wells. The newly planted trees will help with the deforestation problem in Uganda. And the uncommonly known tippy taps will allow locals to understand the importance of cleanliness and hygiene. The help we actually provided with producing the projects were limited. For example, we couldn't hammer a nail properly or saw a saw properly. However, the greater impact we had was the inspiration to the local community members. Now that they have the knowledge of building and using water harvesting tanks and tippy taps, hopefully the community members will make their own and they will become well used around the area. Sustainability can be seen here as the transfer of knowledge to sustain healthy behaviors, as well as the transfer of skill knowledge so that community members can continue to build water tanks and tippy taps in their community. The second way I saw sustainability in Uganda was environmental sustainability. Small differences in the way Ugandans and Americans live gave them an advantage of being more environmentally friendly. Perhaps it is the resources available to Ugandans, but it is also the known way of life there. For example, when my group needed an extra ladder to put up the gutter system for the water harvesting tank, we did not belabor on the non-existent second ladder. Rather, we quickly and efficiently built another ladder from the wood we were already using. Also, just from observations, I could see that many Ugandans use fluorescent lighting, which is an energy-saving alternative. In addition, latrines, which use no water for flushing, are a great way of saving the limited natural resource of water. Of course, some Ugandans do not have the money or resources for actual toilets or running water, but the Ugandans still have a smaller impact on the environment. The third way I saw sustainability in Uganda was through sustained friendships. The greatest example of sustainability during our trip was probably the relationships formed. I met so many Ugandans that were friendly and helpful. Not only was I able to converse with them like any other human being, but I also was able to connect deeply with some. Human connectivity is universal. During the daytime, I worked mostly with the community members and other Maryland students, as well as REAP and FSD staff. But after the working day, I spent most of my free time with my host family. Through them, I was able to ask so many different questions and just have real talks about life, that I really got a sense of Ugandan culture. Sustainability does not just work over the course of 10 days. However, actions towards it can help. My efforts in Uganda did not save the world, but it did allow us to start projects and ideas in the community that will hopefully flourish. I am so thankful for this experience because I personally gained a better understanding for a totally different culture and lifestyle. Uganda, the Pearl of Africa, will never be forgotten. Webele Nyo.